You don't need a single line to flirt. In fact, the strongest message you will ever send is the one that never risks sounding try-hard, performative, or needy. Words create a target. Silence creates a field. When you learn to work inside that field, when your body, your gaze, your timing, and your intention move in quiet alignment, you stop chasing attention and start pulling it. Most men think attraction is delivered through what they say. It isn't. Attraction is absorbed through what she feels in your presence before a syllable exists. You're about to rewire the way you walk into a room, the way you take space, the way you look at a woman for a second too long and then take your eyes back as if it were a privilege she'll have to earn again. You're going to feel what true nonverbal power is: stillness, restraint, deliberate rhythm, micro-rewords, and the art of leaving something unsaid at the exact moment she wants another drop. If what you're hearing already shifts how you see yourself, stay with me until the end. We're just warming up. Start here. The room enters you before you enter the room. That means your state is the first signal she reads. Slow your breath until your exhale is just a bit longer than your inhale. Let your shoulders hang, not slumped, not rigid, just heavy and grounded. Soften your face without losing structure. A slight squint in the eyes like you're reading the horizon, not the walls 6 feet ahead. Your walk is measured heel to toe with a micro pause at full weight transfer, as if gravity is your ally, not an enemy you're racing. You're not telegraphing hunger, you're telegraphing presence. Presence is the opposite of fidgeting. No jacket tugging, no phone scanning, no repeated hair touch. Presence says, I am at ease with myself here, so I don't need to fill the air with noise. Your first glance is reconnaissance and refusal at the same time. Scan the room like you're observing a painting, top left to bottom right, lingering briefly on the people who notice you noticing. You're not hunting, you're calibrating. When your eyes meet hers for the first time, don't snap away. Hold for 1 beat longer than is comfortable for her, not you. Then let your gaze drop, not to her lips yet, that's later. Drop to the side, as if something mildly more interesting just entered your periphery. This subtle dismissal plants a question. What pulled his attention away? You've opened the loop, and you haven't said a word. Angle matters. Avoid the full frontal approach until you've built a small current. Your body should come in at 45 degrees, as if you're capable of standing shoulder to shoulder with her and facing the world together. Face to face is intensity. Shoulder to shoulder is comfort and alliance. Let your hips be slightly offset so your presence doesn't hammer her nervous system. It intrigues it. When you stand close enough to share a boundary but not violate it, you create a corridor of electricity between you. The corridor is the space where flirtation lives. Too far and it dies in the air. Too close and it collapses into threat. Your job is to stand right at the edge where imagination does the heavy lifting. Your eyes are your first language. Use the triangle: eyes to eye to lips, lips back to eyes, slow and deliberate. Not a rapid flicker. Those are teenage nerves. A slow, confident triangular rhythm that says you're taking in the person and the possibility. The first time you trace this triangle, do it while she's speaking to someone else or while she's absorbing the room. Then look away and orient your shoulders slightly opposite her, like you're not owning her attention, you're owning the space. When you return to her later, run the triangle once more, but hold the second eye contact just a fraction longer than before. Time stretches inside that fraction. That's where the spark forms. Posture is not the military stiffness you've been sold. Posture is relaxed authority. A micro tilt of your head when she speaks tells her you're listening without ceding leadership. Your chin stays parallel to the floor. Your movements are economical. The seductive man doesn't reach for things he can let come to him. That includes objects and moments. When she shifts position, give her time to settle. Then adjust with a minimal echo of her movement, one mirror, just one, so her nervous system registers rapport, then break the mirror to assert your frame. Rapport without leadership dissolves into sameness. Leadership without rapport feels cold. You will alternate between the two. Your smile is not a grin, it's an earned commodity. Start closed-lipped, the corners of your mouth rising only after your eyes do. Let your eyes smile first. The eye smile is wary and knowing. It says you're amused by something between you, not something outside of you. Delay the mouth by a beat so she experiences the smile as a wave rolling over her, not a sticker slapped on your face. When you do reveal teeth, make it brief and pull it back to neutral as if your baseline is composure, not eager approval. Approval is the currency most men give away too easily. Don't spend it. Invest it in precise moments where it multiplies. Touch is the loudest wordless message you have, and it must be calibrated. Start with contact that can be defended as situational. A light tap on the outer elbow to guide through a doorway you've already opened. The back of your hand brushing against hers as you both move past an obstacle. The micro-pressure on her shoulder blade if you're making space for her in a crowd. Each touch is purposeful, brief, and followed by stillness, not apology. Stillness allows her to register the contact. Your face doesn't ask for permission or forgiveness. It assumes the contact belonged there. Then you withdraw first, as if to say, "You don't have me yet." The recall of that micro-touch lingers far longer than a clingy hand ever could. Breath is contagious. People unconsciously sync respiratory rhythms with those who lead them emotionally. If you want her to relax, you breathe slightly slower and deeper, she'll follow. If you want to create tension, you shorten the exhale just a bit, not enough to hyperventilate, enough that her body notices the pulse quicken. Pair your breathing with your gaze. On your inhale, meet her eyes. On your exhale, let them wander to a neutral point, then return. She will start timing her own breath with your gaze pattern without understanding why. This is rhythm. Flirting without words is the art of shared rhythm. Now, the hands. Your hands narrate your internal world whether you like it or not. Keep your palms occasionally exposed, not continuously. So you're signaling openness, but let your fingers remain relaxed and heavy. Don't saw the air. Pointing collapses polarity. Instead, lightly frame the space between you with a half-open gesture, inviting and contained. If you touch your own neck or wrist, do it slowly, like you're adjusting a watch that matters to you. Never, ever scratch. It reads as anxiety. If you touch your glass, place it down with intent, not as if you're afraid to make a sound. That soft thunk is a masculine period at the end of an unspoken sentence. Eye contact is not a stare down, it's a tide. Establish it, let it swell, then break it on your terms before it becomes a contest. Leaving first by a fraction, while maintaining a small smile, tells her you're not hooked, you're choosing. When you break eye contact, don't look down. Down is acquiescence. Look to the side or slightly up, as if contemplating a thought you're not ready to share yet. That withheld thought is bait. And if what I'm saying hits the part of you that knows you've been giving away too much, too soon, drop your thoughts below. I read every word, and I respond when I can. This is a craft, and your insight sharpens it. Your distance controls the voltage. Start at social distance, about an arm and a half, and use environmental excuses to step into personal distance momentarily. Leaning in to hear over music, stepping aside to let someone pass, moving around an obstacle so you and she momentarily share the same narrow lane. When you enter that lane, reduce your movements to near zero. Stillness inside proximity is explosive. You don't have to hold it long. 2 breaths, enough for her to feel the outline of you without contact. Then step out casually, as if you didn't notice the shift. She will. Silence is not emptiness, it's a frame. A quiet man either unnerves or intrigues, depending on whether he leaks discomfort. Your face should carry an expression like you're in on a secret, not a smirk, too juvenile. A relaxed, amused neutrality that can break into warmth or cool into steel as needed. When someone speaks to you, use micro-pauses before responding. Even if your answer is a nod or a tilt, you're teaching the room your rhythm. Women feel safer and more excited around a man whose rhythm they can anticipate and then be surprised by. Predictable pace with unpredictable peaks. That's the formula. Signals stack. A single glance is forgettable. A glance plus angle plus delayed smile plus moment of proximity plus calibrated withdrawal. That becomes a narrative. She will make meaning from your patterns. Give her better material. If you've met her gaze twice and she lingers the 3rd time, add a small head tilt as if you're weighing whether to engage. If her pupils dilate even slightly, or she touches her hairline or neck, that's a green light for another layer. The slow lip press, the minimal squint, the barely audible exhale. If she looks away quickly and checks her environment, ease off. Shift your attention elsewhere without signaling loss. Your restraint becomes the new magnet. Clothing is a silent collaborator. Choose one texture that invites curiosity. A leather band, a linen shirt with an open weave, a ring with a story you won't tell yet. When she notices it, your eyes should answer before your mouth does. Look at the object, then at her. Then let it go. You've acknowledged the curiosity while implying she'll have to earn the story. Scent too. Subtle, never loud. Something she can only fully register at personal distance. Your scent should be the reward for coming closer, not a broadcast that gets there before you do. Memory anchors to scent more than to words. Use that. Now let's talk about micro yeses. Flirting without words still allows for invitations that don't sound like questions. You can create small compliance steps with your body. Gesture for her to step ahead through a doorway you've opened, then place your hand briefly at her lower back as she passes. Not lingering, just enough to communicate you're guiding the moment. Offer your forearm if the terrain is tricky. Hold steady, eyes forward as if it's the most natural thing. When she accepts these micro yeses, you're building a ladder. Later, when you stand beside her at the bar, tap the bar once with your knuckle to signal the bartender, then glance at her glass, then at her. She'll fill in the words. If she lifts the glass to you, tilt yours in return without clinking. Eye contact, sip, slow exhale. The ritual becomes the seduction. Pre-selection is the ghost in the room. You never flaunt it, you let it be observed. The women you greet, the way they respond, the ease with which you move among people. This is your unspoken biography. A brief, warm hug to a friend where you keep your chin off her shoulder and your hands respectful reads as socially competent, not needy. A quick laugh with a group followed by your smooth exit on your own timing shows freedom. Freedom is sexy because it says you are not captured by the moment, you are choosing it. If she sees that you are desired without you showcasing it, her mirror neurons light up in curiosity. You must manage that energy with humility, or it curdles into arrogance. Arrogance collapses mystery. We keep mystery alive. Your exit timing is everything. Most men overstay. You won't. After you've built a small narrative of glances and proximity, you'll withdraw abruptly, but gracefully. Check your watch casually, turn your torso away a fraction, give a slow smile that lands in the eyes, and shift your weight like you're already somewhere else. If she's invested, she'll feel the loss. That feeling is the point. Flirting without words thrives on tension release cycles, and the most powerful release is not consummation. It's the promise of a later beat. When you step away, don't vanish. Place yourself where she can still see you in profile, involved in something that holds your attention. Don't perform. Be absorbed. When you return, even briefly, you've created a sequel. In conversation, you will occasionally speak, of course, but your words are scaffolding, not the building. Keep them sparse. When you do speak, pair your sentences with a visual action. 1 second, you murmur. Then you shift her glass aside to protect it from a passerby's elbow. You missed this, you say softly, then you brush a speck of dust from her shoulder with the back of your fingers, not your palm. What you say is nothing. What you do is everything. Then, quiet again. Let her fill the silence with questions your body has already answered. Your eyes can also refuse. When someone else is speaking in your small circle, don't keep scanning for her. That reads as fixation. Keep your focus on whoever has the floor and let your awareness of her be peripheral. She will notice the times you don't look at her more than the times you do. Scarcity ratchets value. And when you finally meet her gaze again, after ignoring it through 2 exchanges, hold it and let your lips part slightly as if you were about to say something and chose not to. Pause. Then sip and break. You've just turned absence into foreplay. Proximity requires ethical intuition and radar. You're not a statue, you're responsive. If she leans away, you give space without flinching. If she re-enters that corridor, you meet her halfway, then stop first. Pausing first says you lead. Leadership is simply this. You take responsibility for the energy you create. Wordless flirting is not manipulation, it's curation. You're curating an emotional arc that both of you enjoy. If at any point her signals turn flat, no re-engagement, no mirroring, no warmth, you pivot your attention elsewhere with grace. The man who can walk away without resentment is dangerous in the best way. He never burns the room, he elevates it. Use the environment as your accomplice. Lean against a surface at a slight angle, 1 foot resting back so she has to adjust her position to keep you in view. Handle objects with ease. Open a door slowly enough that they feel your control, not your impatience. If there's music, let your hand mark the beat once, 2 fingers on your thigh, then stop. You're not a drummer, you're an anchor. If there's light, Step so that it outlines your profile when she's facing you, or place her in the light if you're guiding her path. Subconsciously, she'll feel your framing moments with her as the subject. This is nonverbal chivalry. It's powerful because it never announces itself. When you're across the room, deploy the long-distance thread. Catch her eye, hold, then tilt your head a fraction toward the bar or the exit or a quieter corner. Your choice. Don't beckon. Suggest. If she follows later, you don't celebrate. You receive. Let her arrive into your energy like you anticipated it, not like you've been starving. A simple nod, a soft smile, then continue whatever you were doing for half a breath before you turn to her fully. That half breath of delayed gratification is the difference between hungry and selective. Selective men create desire because access to their full attention is earned, not begged for. Your phone is either your ally or your saboteur. In your hands, it should be a tool, not a toy. Check it rarely and never during a charged moment. If you must, do it with your body angled away, finish quickly, then place it face down and return your full presence. If she sees you give attention to a device while she's trying to climb into your frame, she will eject. Presence is the only true flex left. Give it selectively, give it fully, and remove it without flinch. The ability to cut your attention is as potent as the ability to give it. There's a subtle technique I want you to practice, the 2-count lead. As she speaks and gestures, you nod on a slightly slower rhythm than her words. She finishes a thought, you hold eye contact in silence for a 2-count, then respond with a minimal sentence or a tiny smile. This 2-count pulls her forward. People rush to fill silence when they want approval. When she catches herself leaning into your space to fill it, she will realize she's chasing your response. That realization glows beneath the surface. It's not about dominance. It's about anchoring the interaction. Now, the eyebrow flash. Quick, minimal, deployed at first recognition, and then almost never again. The flash is like a key turning in a lock. Acknowledgement without commitment. Use it on first eye contact, then drop a half smile and break. If you keep flashing, you become cartoonish. Once is enough. Later, pair the flash with the lip press and a micro tilt. She'll read it as a private signal. The best signals feel like secrets. If what you've heard so far makes you see your old habits, the fidget, the too eager grin, the constant words, as noise you're ready to subtract, stay with me. We'll go deeper into tension, the real engine of flirtation. Tension is created by delayed resolution. Think of it like tuning a string. No tension, no music. Too much tension, the string snaps. You build it with your eyes, holding and breaking at the edge of comfort. You build it with your pacing, slow approach, abrupt exit. You build it with contact, brief, purposeful, then gone. And you release it strategically. A compliment that lands after 2 moments of restraint hits like a spark in dry grass. Make the compliment specific and quiet. That color on you is dangerous. Then let silence burn. Do not stack compliments. 1 ember is heat, 10 are smoke. There will be nights where you barely speak to each other, yet you both know something is forming. On those nights, feed the story with tiny acts, standing in her path just enough that she must touch your arm to pass, offering the inside of the sidewalk, guiding her through a crowd with your hand at that respectful anchor on her back, stepping in front of her at the bar to order, then shifting aside so she's at the rail, protected. Each act is a sentence in a language she understands better than any line. And when the moment comes to finally speak, your first words can be simple. Come with me for a second. Your body has already done the convincing. Your voice just signs the check. If she tests you, and she will, by withholding eye contact, by giving a cool response, by turning her body away slightly, you don't chase. You reduce investment, not as punishment but as calibration. Continue to enjoy the room. The seductive man never loses the thread of his own night. Iron self-amusement is the source of your unspoken magnetism. If she reopens the door later with a look, a brush, a proximity shift, meet it as if nothing happened. No pettiness, no sarcasm, no scoreboard. That maturity reads as rare because it is. Another advanced move, the over-shoulder glance. As you pass her, slow just enough to turn your head over your shoulder and meet her eyes from that angle, mouth relaxed, then face forward and keep walking. This is not a double take. It's a branded moment. Seen, then gone. She experiences two feelings at once: recognition and loss. The nervous system craves resolution to loss. Let her come find it. If you're in a quieter environment, a bookstore, a gallery, a hotel lobby, your movements should shrink further. Sit with an open yet grounded posture, one ankle over the opposite knee if it suits you, hands resting, your attention occasionally drifting to her and back to your page, your artwork, your view. When she lingers nearby, acknowledge her with an eye smile and a small, deliberate closing of your book or a pause in your attention on the art. You've just said, "I can put anything down for what's interesting," but you won't leap. Let her ask something with her eyes. Answer with a nod that invites but doesn't pull. If she doesn't take it, return to your piece effortlessly. That ease is intoxicating. Now, there's a final layer: your relationship to the room itself. You move like you own nothing and enjoy everything. You loan your attention. You lend your energy. You don't demand a return. That's the paradox. Women feel more pulled toward a man who seems to need nothing from them because his attention feels like a choice, not a bid. Your nonverbal flirting must always feel like an invitation to a world, not a negotiation for validation. Everything you do should say, "I'm good, and I'm curious if we'd be even better together." If this is hitting something true inside you, share it with a brother who needs it. Don't keep it to yourself. Men who move well raise the standard for everyone around them. And if you're absorbing this and thinking, "This is what I've been missing," then engage below. Tell me which move you're going to practice first. I read every comment. Your commitment to this craft will change the way you show up everywhere, not just with women. Let's close with a field exercise to integrate this, because theory without action evaporates. Next time you walk into a space, pick one woman you're curious about. Do not approach. Build the nonverbal thread over 20 minutes in 5 small beats. Beat 1, a glance and a fractional hold, then break. Beat 2, the triangle gaze while angled 45 degrees, a closed lip-eye smile, then remove yourself. Beat 3, proximity pass. Enter her corridor for 2 breaths. Stillness, then out. Beat 4, long distance thread. Catch her eyes. Tilt subtly toward a location, then occupy that location without looking back. Beat 5, re-entry. Stand beside her shoulder to shoulder, your body open to the room, and let your presence do the talking before your voice ever does. In each beat, breathe, own your stillness, and give only what is earned. If she answers the thread, you'll feel it. If she doesn't, the practice is still yours. The man you become by mastering this rhythm is the point. When you practice enough, your wordless flirting becomes a signature women feel before they rationalize it. They'll describe you as magnetic, as calming and dangerous in the right dose, as a man who doesn't perform, but somehow makes everything feel like a performance around him. That's because you're composing the space. You are architecting silence and timing, micro yeses and withheld attention, tiny releases after controlled tension. You're painting with pauses. And the image you paint is not of a man trying to win her over. It's of a man she wants to step into alignment with. Remember, the greatest pickup line is the moment she speaks first, because your presence created a question she wants to resolve. When she does, welcome it like you expected it. Not surprised, not arrogant, simply ready. And if tonight is not the night, you leave with your rhythm intact. You do not go home empty. You go home trained. That discipline is rare. Rare is attractive. If what I've given you today shifts how you move, how you breathe, how you time your gaze and your exits, then stay close. There's more to build. Subscribe so you don't miss the next layer. We're going to deepen the calibration and show you how to escalate without ever breaking the spell. Drop your experience below. Tell me where you felt the power click in. And send this to the man in your circle who needs to remove the noise and learn how to flirt without a single wasted word. Men like you change rooms. Start with your next step, your next breath, your next look. Then let silence do what words never could.